Every renovation or phase project has a moving target, evolving designs, shifting priorities, and multiple stages to manage. Keeping track of what's existing, what is being demolished, and what is new can quickly become complex. With Vectorworks phasing, you have complete control over every stage of your project. Effortlessly manage and visualize objects across phases and produce accurate and fully coordinated documentation, all within a single model. In this video, we will show you how Vectorworks phasing streamlines your renovation workflow and keeps every stage of your project perfectly in sync. Phasing in Vectorworks encompasses several interface elements, from the view bar, object info palette controls, to the dedicated demolition tool, and requires an understanding of data visualization, which interacts directly with each other. Vectorworks phasing adds the element of time to your project. Think of phases as sequential stages of construction. They represent snapshots in time, from existing conditions through demolition to final completion. Every object in your model displays a phase status that automatically changes depending on the active phase set in the view bar. This helps you clearly track every object at every phase. The key statuses you will work with are existing, objects that were created before the active phase and remain in place. Demolished, existing objects that are to be removed and disposed of. Removed, existing objects taken out and stored for later reuse. New, objects created during the active phase. Temporary, objects created and removed within the same phase, like temporary shoring. The object phase statuses are determined by the phase created and removed settings. Assign a data visualization to filter, show or hide objects by statuses, and to change the graphic attributes for designing and documenting, making it easier to identify different elements in your drawing. For example, an object phase status that shows as new in the first phase will display as existing when you switch to the second phase, and so will the graphic attributes. This intelligent system means you maintain one coordinated model while generating multiple views for different construction stages, existing conditions, demolition, and new construction drawings. Phasing is essential for renovation and large multi-phase projects. However, for single-phase projects focusing only on new constructions and without existing buildings, the project will maintain only one phase and can be ignored or removed from the view bar. The key question is whether you need to tell the story of your project at different points in time. If yes, then phasing streamlines that workflow. The phasing template gives you a jump start with predefined phases and data visualizations that make it easy. Within the template, you'll find two phases typical of a renovation project workflow. Existing conditions is the phase where you draw the existing building conditions when starting a new project. New construction is the phase where you demolish existing structures and draw new objects in your model, simulating real-life construction. In the view bar, in the active phase dropdown, you'll find the initial phases. Select existing conditions and start designing. Whether a 2D or 3D BIM workflow, every object in your model has phasing information that determines when it was created and when it's removed. To define an object's phase in the drawing, select the object and locate the Phase Settings section in the Object Info palette. You'll see several controls here that work together to determine your object status. The Phase Create control tells you when this object first exists. When you draw an object, it is placed in the active phase selected in the view bar. Easily reassign to a different phase by selecting it in the drop-down. The Phase Remove control indicates when an object is taken out of the project. To mark something for demolition, use the demolition tool located in the Basic Tool palette or set Phase Removed to the phase when it's demolished. If an object isn't removed, leave this set to None. It will continue to exist through all subsequent phases. The Reuse checkbox appears when you've set a phase removed. Check this box if you're salvaging the object for later use, rather than demolishing it. This changes the status in the active phase from demolished to removed. The status in the active phase is a read-only display that shows you the current status based on your phase created and phase removed settings. This updates automatically as you change the active phase or modify the phase settings. To change the active phase in your design layer, locate the active phase control in the view bar. Click the drop-down menu and select the phase you want to view. The entire model updates immediately to show the correct status for each object. Additionally, to quickly navigate between phases, you can use the previous phase and next phase buttons in the view bar. This makes it easy to step through your construction sequence and verify the objects appear correctly in each phase. To access and edit your phases in the view bar, from the phase icon, choose Manage Phases. In the Manage Phases dialog, you'll see a list of all phases in your project. Each phase has a name, an optional date, and an optional description. The phase number determines the chronological order. Phase 1 comes before Phase 2, and so on. To create a phase, select a phase, then click the Insert Before or Insert After button. You'll be prompted to enter a name, perhaps Phase 1 Existing Conditions 2, or Phase 2 Demolition. You can also add a date to help keep track of your project timeline and a description for additional context. To merge phases, click the Merge with Previous or Merge with Next button. This is useful when you need to consolidate work from two phases into one. Select which phase to merge into, and all objects from the merge phase will be reassigned accordingly. Once your additional phases are set up, click OK to return to your drawing. Data visualization is integral to this powerful workflow. When activated, not only does data visualization control the graphics of phased objects, but also the visibility of those objects based on their status and active phase. From the view bar, navigate to the visualization section and select one of the templates data visualization to apply to your current view for an automatic graphic and visibility update. Phase in P1 Complete displays the final object visibility and graphics for the active phase. Use this data viz to show existing drawing conditions when the active phase is existing conditions, and to show what the building will look like when completed when the active phase is new construction. Phase in P2 Demolition Existing and Reuse displays objects and graphics in the active phase that are existing to remain, in addition to being demolished, temporary, or removed. It is most useful for demolition drawings when the active phase is new construction. Phase in P3 New, Existing and Reuse displays objects and graphics in the active phase that are new, existing to remain, and set to reuse. This data viz is most useful for construction drawings when the active phase is new construction. Phase in PZ All displays objects across all construction phases and their graphical attributes, which is most useful for documenting complex multi-phase projects. And finally, Phase in PZ Current Phase Only shows only current objects and graphics that were created or relocated in the active phase. These data visualization criteria are perfect for quick views across your working model. For documentation, capitalize on the flexibility to edit, display, and visibility settings for your documentation requirements. For example, to apply a red fill to the demolition data visualization attributes, click Edit Data Visualization, click on the demolition value, and then click Edit. Within this dialog, swap out the fill color and click OK. You can override pen colors, line weights, fill patterns, and even control visibility completely, with the draw mode for all other objects set to show, gray, or hide. Save time with predefined criteria by starting with these data viz sets. Under the Manage Data Visualization dialog, with the Export and Import buttons, bring these data visualization sets across to your company template and customize as needed. Phasing includes specialized tools for advanced renovation scenarios. For example, the demolition tool is used to quickly mark elements to be removed from the model. To do this, locate the basic tool palette and select the demolition tool. Then click each object you want to remove and note in the Object Info palette how the object's phased remove parameter has been set to the current active phase. This is particularly efficient when you're reviewing a large model and need to mark multiple items for demolition. The Remove tool automatically schedules clicked objects to be removed and/or reused. To relocate a salvage object from one location to another, with the object selected in the Object Info palette, use the Place Object for Relocation button. You'll enter a placement mode similar to placing a new object. Position the object in its relocated new location and click to place it. Vectorworks creates a relocated instance whilst the original remains marked as removed in its original location, and the relocated copy appears as relocated in the phase where you placed it. The Phase and Removed Objects palette gives you a comprehensive view of all removed and stored objects, as well as relocated ones. To open the Phase and Removed Objects palette, in the view bar, click on the phasing icon and select Removed Objects. To navigate to a removed object, select it in the palette and click the Navigate to Removed instance. Vectorworks takes you to the design layer where the object was originally located, with the phase created and phase removed set so that it's easy to verify what's been removed and from where. To navigate to a relocated object's new location, click Navigate to Relocated Instance through the Phase and Removed Objects palette, the Object Info palette, or through the contextual menu for an instantaneous jump to the location of the relocated instance. The Phase and Removed Objects palette helps you track what resources are being stored for reuse versus what's been disposed of, for better management of resources through the project phases. Phasing is integrated into Vectorworks documentation tools to produce accurate construction documents and material reports. To create phase-specific viewports for your sheet layers, go to the View menu, choose Create Viewport, and select the relevant sheet for placement. Under the Phase section, the active phase from the design layer is automatically assigned. To apply the correct graphics for that stage of the project, select from the Data Visualization pop-up menu and apply any relevant data visualization. Check Create Data Visualization Legend for higher clarity. For maximum efficiency and speed, you can generate a complete set of renovation drawings with different phase and data visualization settings when taking advantage of viewport styles, allowing you to create standardized documentation with the correct graphics each time. Your existing conditions plan might show the first phase with neutral graphics from the Phasing P1 Complete Data Visualization, whilst in the second phase, by selecting the Phasing P2 Demolition Data Viz, you can highlight what's been removed. You can then follow on with the Phasing P3 New Data Viz for a new conditions construction plan emphasizing all the new elements. Control the level of detail for objects based on their phasing status. In the Show as Low Detail section of the Viewport Style dialog, check Remove Component Objects and Removed Symbols and Plugin Objects to ensure that those objects take on a low detail level regardless of the viewport's overall setting. These options offer greater control over graphic output and readability. Capitalize on IFC exports with phase data for better collaboration. This coordinated approach ensures that everyone working on the project, from designers to contractors, has access to accurate, phase-specific information suitable for other platforms. Phasing gives you complete control over time-based design and construction documentation, all within a single coordinating model, with data visualization, the demolition tool, and specific phasing parameters. Streamline your phasing workflow with this dedicated process for greater flexibility, reduced errors, so that as your project moves through time, the documentation reflects that story. For more information, please check out the Vectorworks University, online help, or the Vectorworks AI Assistant so you can design your phased projects with time in mind.